This morning's scripture reading is from Psalms 89, verses 24 through 29. My faithfulness and steadfast love shall be with him, and in my name his horn shall be exalted. I will set his hand on the sea, and his right hand on the rivers. He shall cry to me, "You are my Father, my God, and the rock of my salvation." I will make him the firstborn, the highest of the kings of the earth. Forever I will keep my steadfast love for him, and my covenant with him will stand firm. I will establish his line forever, and his throne as long as the heavens endure.
Thank you so much, Bob. Every so often around this time of year, there's this beautiful little Christmas story that I like to share. It's the Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. No, this isn't the guy that they named the candy bar after, but rather a beautiful, beautiful 19th century author. I can't tell the story exactly as he wrote it just because I'm not that good of a presenter. But I'm going to summarize it for you, hopefully kind of give you the spirit of it. If you haven't read it, I highly encourage you to do so. It's a beautiful, beautiful short story. And while it doesn't talk about the birth of Jesus at all, it gives a gorgeous example of the type of love that the coming of Jesus brought. It's about a newlywed couple, Jim and Della. They're in their first apartment, they're getting ready for their first Christmas, and they're working poor. I mean, they're not like destitute, but they don't have a lot of money, but they have a lot of love, and they are incredibly, incredibly happy. They both want to give each other the perfect Christmas gift for this first Christmas as husband and wife. Well, they each have a very special prized possession, which inspires each of them what to get the other. Della has this gorgeous, long, beautiful hair. Her pride, her joy, a big part of her personal appearance, her personal identity. It's a big part which, in her mind, makes her her. And then Jim has his grandfather's pocket watch. Probably the only memento he has of his grandfather's life. Beautiful, beautiful pocket watch. Now, Della wants to get Jim a chain for the pocket watch because, as was the style of the time, men would wear vests with pockets. You could put the pocket watch in. But a gold chain, or in the case of his, a platinum chain, would complement the look. Plus, it made it harder to lose it because you'd have the chain clipped on, not only for the look, but if you drop the pocket watch, just doesn't go on the ground and break, it kind of dangles and you can pick it back up. It's the perfect accessory for the perfect prized possession. Della doesn't have enough money. As hard as she works, doesn't have enough money to get in the chain that she wants to get for him. So what does she do to raise the money? She goes to a wig maker, sells her hair. So she goes from having this long, gorgeous, beautiful hair to having either a bob or a pixie cut. Takes the money, buys Jim the chain, wraps it up. It's Christmas, and they're both so excited to give each other the perfect gift. Della gives Jim the little present, opens it up, his eyes open wide. The perfect accessory for his prized possession. Jim gives Della her gift, opens it up. It's these gorgeous ivy combs that she had seen in a store window that she would just, if she could buy herself anything, it would be these gorgeous, gorgeous combs. But alas, she no longer has any hair to use them on. So she focuses on Jim. Jim, get your pocket watch. Let's put the chain on it. Jim goes, I I sold the pocket watch to buy you the combs. The same way that Della had sold her hair to buy Gina the chain. They put their gifts aside for the time being and they go and they prepare their Christmas dinner. Because they had realized that they had been brought the perfect Christmas gift. And it wasn't a chain, it wasn't a comb. It was the love that two people have for one another. A love so powerful that to sacrifice what meant the most to them material-wise was of little significance when it meant giving the person that they loved the most the perfect gift. And you know what? That love was the perfect gift for Jen and Della on their first Christmas together. I want us to keep that gift of love in mind as we look at our scripture lesson this morning. Psalm 89 is pretty lengthy. So I provided a couple of excerpts from it, our call to worship, as well as the section that Bob just read for us. It talks about God's love, perseverance, and God standing by humanity, even in the difficult of times. And it kind of goes back and forth between tragedy and joy, between consequences for bad life decisions, or in the case of Israel, bad decisions the nation had made in ancient times, to redemption. The section that we just had read to us is alluding to the hope of the coming of the Messiah, that the descendant of David will once again sit on the throne of Israel and will bring reconciliation, salvation, restoration, not just to Israel, but through Israel to the entire world. Now it's easy when we talk about love, the focus on the joy, the hope. If you think of romantic love, the flowers and the candy, and springtime, and romantic walks in the park, and I'm going a little over the top here just to kind of make the point. When we talk about love, a lot of times we think about when love is easy and wistful and gorgeous. We don't always focus on love when it's difficult. Love when it requires sacrifice. Love when it requires perseverance. Love when it's expressed through tears. Love when it's expressed holding the hand of somebody while they're dying. Love that's expressed forgiving somebody even when it's for the 50th or the 70th times 7th time. Love when it's painful. Because the one that we love is in pain or causing pain. Love when it's gritty and dirty, when it's the black and white film versus the beautiful color. The love of God so powerful that God didn't abandon us when we made our mistakes and suffered the natural consequences. God didn't abandon us when we turned our back on God and pretended God wasn't there. Love that didn't abandon us when God exhausted every last means possible to reach us. Ultimately to the point saying, the only way that you're going to get that I love you is I'm going to come live among you, experience what you experience, show you that I get it, and then keep pressing it so much that I die for it. And that's just what I'm gonna do. Love. It's extremely difficult. It requires extreme amounts of work. Often there's a lot of sacrifice involved in it. But why keep doing it? Because ultimately, God is love. The experience of love is the experience of God. Because God loved us first with a love that never abandoned or forsaken us and never will. Love that was ultimately expressed in the birth of a baby in a quiet corner of the world long ago. Love. So in this season of difficulty and tragedy, how do we respond? Of course it's important that we keep hope. Of course it's important that we seek and bring peace. Of course it's important that we find and celebrate the joy, the hope in God, the experience of God's presence, the experience of God at work in our lives. But what's the point of all those? In the end, it's love. we want to experience God? Experience love. Give the experience of love to others. Want to know what it was like for God to come into the world in Jesus Christ? Share the love that we have with others, even when it's difficult and hard. Do you want to experience ultimately what joy, hope, and peace is about? Bringing joy, hope, and peace to everybody through love. You know, love is one of those things that the more we do it, the easier it becomes to share it. That the harder it is, the more worth it is to pursue. And in the end, if we're not sure what love is, just look to the compassion of another, the sacrifice of another, the sacrifice of God. And we'll see glimmers of it. We'll see the beginning of it. And we'll see that it grows the more that we share. This Christmas, what should we give each other? Love. Thank you. Love. However we understand it, however we've experienced it, share the gift of love. We've also shared the gift of God. May God bless us all in hope, peace, joy, and most especially in love. And until we gather again, pray that God watches over all of you, keeps you all safe, protects us all from all things seen and unseen, and sustains us in hope, grants us peace, helps us to experience joy, and know that it's all ultimately based in love. Have a very blessed, happy, and Merry Christmas. May God's love be with you all until we meet again. Amen.